Welcome to the bold analysis. It is very backward and I think, for lack of a better word, stupid and very nonsensical to tear gas people for converging to celebrate a birthday. Happy birthday to Baba, Raila Odinga. And let me tell you something. In my life, doing this analysis, I think I've met Raila. In my life, I've met Raila thrice. The first time I met Raila was in 2017 when I was working for Radiomaisha and he came for the interview. The second time I was meeting Raila was sometime last year in April. I attended a rally, and before that rally, there was some debrief before that rally, and I attended that debrief. And this year, last year, that was 2020, 2023, I met Raila one-on-one at the Radiomaisha. Now there is one thing, if you've had the privilege of meeting Raila, and those who've been around Raila will tell you, that Raila is a man with a lot of stories. And in those stories, you'll always learn something. Yes. He'll never go direct to the point. He always wants to hear you talking, not him talking. By the way, he's a good listener. He always wants to hear you talking, always asking you to say something. And that means he's a man who really listens. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we are a bit annoyed. It's disrespectful, and the Kenyan police must be civilized for a minute, even if they are orders. I don't understand why William Ruto ordered people to be tear gassed. I want you to look at this video. These are Kenyans that had converged in around archives in Nairobi to celebrate Raila Odinga's birthday today. And as you can see,
Ma'am, toka tu. Tumbele kana go ipita moro ma smart, matin tu.
What? Happy birthday, wewe! Tuko hapa! Tuko hapa wewe! Uko nini upo?
Kuja chukua vitu zako.
Sasa angalia vile wameharibu. Na hizi ni zetu ndio? Hizi vitu zote ni yetu.
Mo, poleni.
I think I wanted to watch that video before we actually do a full analysis on it. There is something you realize. Today is on a Sunday. So not so many people are in town. There is no traffic. These fellows did not protest. These fellows just converged, and it was just an impromptu meeting to celebrate a birthday. These fellows were putting on some the blue sugar, some orange, so you could see azimio and orange colors. You will also see that it is some emergence of perhaps some lobby group, and most of those who were there were actually ladies and some young men. So it was, I understand, it was some Warembo and Raila faction. And then they had their cake. So immediately they started, from nowhere, someone fires tear gas canisters there, disperse the group, and also fire some live bullets so that people evade. As in, you cause stampede for no apparent reason. I think IG should explain to us what is the law that these people broke, or what is wrong by these people celebrating this birthday. You know, what is exactly wrong? You know, before we have outgrown, we have outgrown this, and there is absolutely no reason. Elsewhere, this is Raila Odinga in Malindi. Remember, Raila was not even in Nairobi. For your information, Raila was not in Nairobi, so you are not even expecting Raila to go to Nairobi, to go to that place and maybe cause some, cause some jam or something. So, elsewhere, Raila was in Malindi, celebrated his birthday in Malindi, and you can see Hassan Joho. The photo they shared is Hassan Joho in attendance of that event. Perhaps these are some of the things that the government side, or Kenyan side, will not want to see them being around. You're seeing these kind of leaders coming. And he chose Mombasa. I think if Yakin has been celebrating his birthday in Mombasa with the family. He chose the coast. He's been at the coast, I think, for the last 2 days. And you could see the governors, the Kilifi and Mombasa governor, were all in attendance, and also with Hassan Joho. A man who's been believed to be out of Raila's shadow. But I've been telling someone that if there's one person that I'm sure is not going to leave Raila's shadow, that person is Hassan Joho. So you could see the kind of frenzy. And I want to say, what the Kenya Kwanza cannot stomach is the kind of frenzy that was coming out during Raila Odinga's celebration. And I want to tell you, in real sense, why government developed some hostility around on Raila Odinga's birthday celebration. Uhuru celebrated his birthday. We saw the way Mount Kenya erupted in celebration. The cakes were eaten all over, and it actually got the state off guard. They were wondering, they didn't know that was coming. So the state was caught off guard, and it developed, there was a phone from some radio station, then there were cakes from almost all the Kiambu, all the Mount Kenya counties. There was a cake that was cut there. Then the next day, when there was there was some roadshow in Kiambu, and the people were asking for Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, I think even William Ruto side realized, if you look at one of the cakes that was cut, there were some cryptic messages that were in one of the cakes, and I want you to look at this here. This was one of the cakes, and some of the messages in those cakes were actually like telling Kenyans like what should be cut. The messages in those cakes was about urging Ruto to reduce some cakes. And I think I've got that photo here, the photo of one of the cakes. I think this was the one in some areas you can see. Cut housing levy, cut VAT on fuel, cut turnover tax, cut food packaging tax. The food packaging tax I had even mentioned here. This is the tax on materials used to make paper that is used for packaging exports. So it was really causing some increase in the prices of fuel. You can see here cut housing levy, and I think you can now see more clearer photo. There is even one that was sponsored by Bakassu West Member of Parliament, ODM Jubilee Azimio. So, you know, this is what government is feeling.
Because as we celebrate today, and as we are going to cut the cake, we are going to send a message that as we cut the cake, we want the tax to be cut. As we cut the cake, we want tax to be cut. As we cut the cake, we want the cost of living to be cut. As we cut the cake, we want the cost of education to be cut. As we cut the cake, we want the cost of fuel to be cut. That's why it's going to be different. And I want to tell Kenyans that, just as my colleague Honorable Seth Kanga said, when the court ruled against BBI, you are aware that Ruto was the first person to celebrate. And he said the court did the right thing. When the court did a ruling, the Supreme Court did a ruling on last year's election, he said the court did the best thing. We therefore want to tell him that because he said he's going to follow the rule of law, he has to respect the judiciary. He has to do what? To respect the judiciary. Mimi nasema hivi, tumekusanyika leo tukikata keki hapa, lakini hii keki tukikata tunataka kutoa maneno kwa Ruto, tuseme akate bei ya mafuta, akate bei ya masomo, akate bei ya maisha. Na mimi ni wacha niwaambie leo hii kuna bill inaenda kupelekwa pale National Assembly yenye itafanya wale wote wenye nafanya ukulima, those who are doing farming, will pay every shillings that you get, you will pay 5 shillings. Kwa hivyo wale wenye kwa nasema eti housing levy ina affect wale wenye wako na slip peke yake, sio hivyo. Saa hii itakuja kwa yule mwenye nafanya kilimo pale nyumbani. And even those who are doing hawking, those who are doing business, those who are in merry-go-rounds, you are aware of the SACCO bill that's already in the National Assembly, that you have to pay what is called a turnover tax. Hiyo inafanya maisha ikuwe rahisi ama ikuwe ngumu? Maisha inakuwa rahisi ama ikuwe ngumu? Alisema atafanya pamoja na watu wa bodaboda na watu mama mboga. Ile serikali umeona mtu wa bodaboda na umeona mama mboga. We want to tell Ruto, if he can't rule, let him ship out.
Why government is feeling the heat? If you look at the messaging around Raila Odinga's birthday, they are feeling like it's going to be, the messaging is creating the mood in the tone of the country. And in fact, there is something why government developed hostility on Raila Odinga. And in fact, I want to say without fear of contradiction, this was unnecessary. In fact, this tear gassing is unnecessary. There is a message that Ruto wanted to send out, but I think it was wrong to unleash police on innocent Kenyans just celebrating a birthday. One, Ruto is looking at avenues, was sending a signal that is out to suppress any public gathering. Remember, Raila Odinga has already mentioned that they are under their plans to have protests in 2024, especially to a pushback against William Ruto on the cost of living and the new tax levies that has been introduced. So Ruto is sending a message. I want to tell you, I want you to remember, if someone is just at home, someone at home just sees this video of Kenyans being tear-gassed in the streets simply because they are celebrating Raila Odinga's birthday, what do you think those good Kenyans will think of? What do you think they will see? You'll probably see a different, people actually fear. And if any meeting is called, any gathering is called, if any gathering is called, they will not see that. You know what? They will not come out because government is telling, Ruto is telling Raila that I will deal with you, I will deal with your supporters, with the police. So that is why those policemen were sent there. Number two, I think someone wanted to divert the attention of the country from the messages on Raila Odinga's birthday to this incident. Because for sure, the people might even ask, it's a very legitimate question. What have these people done? If you go to town today, there are people that celebrate their birthdays in those streets. And it's not a meeting where you need to, ask for some permission or something. They're not doing something illegal. It's just an impromptu, just the same way people can sometimes come from the stadium, maybe if there is a game in Nyayo and they have won, they dance to town, they can do their thing, if they have a cake, they can cut it and go home. That problem is what was going on. But remember this one, there was even no gathering. But government fears people gathering. Because this gathering was going to amplify Raila Odinga's anti-government, anti-tax messaging. So the anti-tax messaging is why Ruto sent the police to scuttle Raila Odinga's birthday celebration. Number three, I think there was a bit of some fear that if Raila Odinga birthday celebration will experience such a big frenzy, and Uhuru Kenyatta also had a frenzy during his birthday, then they would have outplayed William Ruto. Remember, within the last 3 months, Uhuru, Raila and Ruto have all celebrated their birthdays. And Ruto had a birthday, I think it was in December, if I'm not wrong. And there was no frenzy. I remember even some people analyzing that few leaders posted. And of course, even the State House team it was never celebrated in big of a huge, it was never celebrated in public. Because what do you think the public would have celebrated in Ruto's birthday? Probably there is none. There is nothing they would have celebrated. So people felt insecure that the media will start comparing Uhuru, Raila, and Ruto. And with that, maybe it will have showed the picture that is getting a bit of rebellion from the public. Lastly, I see something here that Ruto is trying to suppress emergence of lobby groups in the country, especially political lobby group. Because from what I see, if you look at that video critically, you realize that could have been some lobby group. It doesn't want emergence of lobby groups because those lobby groups are because of the political lobby groups. But I want to point out clearly as I finish this podcast, this video. I think I know that for such an outrageous, raid to happen, there must be call from above. To Kenya Police, where is the independence and what is the code of conduct? How can you shield Kenya Police from such outrageous orders? Because at what point will Kenya Police also show their independence? I will be glad if a circular or a message is sent, a circular is sent that go and disperse those Kenyans that National Archives. Then someone says, I'm not taking those orders because it's not against the law. Because for sure they've been asking, do Kenya Police just take instructions without asking where the law has been broken? That probably needs to be the point here. As I have seen government talking about reforming judiciary and finding somebody to oversight judiciary, which could be in order. We should also ask ourselves, do our security forces just take raw orders without questioning? If someone tells you that go and kill so-and-so, do you just go and kill because an order has been given? Or do you have the autonomy, the independent autonomy to ask yourself, even after a leader or a big boss calls you and tells you, go and disperse those Kenyans that are celebrating Raila's birthday in archives, do those security forces have an autonomy, independent autonomy to ask yourself, is it wrong? What's it? Do we have that? Or in police systems, just about orders, without questioning? You know, that is something that and I think it's a very big shame. It's a very big shame for the country to go and disperse people celebrating Raila's birthday, while just the other day, some Kenyan, some peace ambassadors were killed in Elgeyo Marakwet by bandits. That's where energy should be spent. Instead of wasting tear gas canisters in Nairobi CBD on innocent Kenyans just celebrating a birthday, we can do better. No. From when do the right to assembly limited? It's a Sunday. People are having it easy. Then yes, surely. And you throw it in a public place where you can even injure, you can cause unnecessary stampede on innocent Kenyans. No, this one. This is stupid. This is stupid, to say the least. Happy birthday, Babaman. Happy birthday, and have yourself the best. We pray that may God give you strength so that you continue the good work of fighting for the commoner. Thank you.